criticize and destroy. My brother, my sister, this is all in the service of God and country. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo. And we are live on Xylophone TV, my God, via satellite all over the world. And of course, we are also streaming live on Facebook, and our Facebook account is Xylophone 102.1 FM. We are also on YouTube, and our YouTube account is Xylophone Media. And in both cases, Xylophone is spelled Z-Y-L-O-F-O-N. Z-Y-L-O-F-O-N. My name Black Rasta. Today we have a lot of things to discuss. Let's go straight up into action and see where I go on. I'm taking this from My Joy Online, and this was published yesterday, the 8th of September 2021 at 8:19 p.m. in the night, last night. And it says, e-levy is not compulsory. If you don't want to pay, don't do momo. And this is supposed to be the utterance of Carlos Ahenkura. Now, who is Carlos Ahenkura? Let's find out. MP for Tema West, Carlos Kingsley Ahenkura, has stated that the proposed 1.75% e-levy by government is not a compulsory tax. Thus, Ghanaians who are opposed to it should not engage in electronic transactions. The former Deputy Minister of Trade made these remarks during an interview with Joy News' parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker Wilson on Wednesday. It is not a compulsory tax. If you don't do momo, you don't pay. So if you don't want to pay, don't do momo. It's simple. Carlos Ahenkura stated. Now, according to the legislature, the e-levy is a welcome initiative which is designed to mobilize some revenue to enhance development, and therefore he does not understand the opposition against the proposal. He made these assertions in reaction to a protest by public advocacy group Justice for Ghana, who are agitating against the proposed 1.75% e-levy. My brother, my sister, Carlos Ahenkura is supposed to be the MP for Tema West. The last time we heard about Carlos Ahenkura was when he snatched ballot papers and started chewing those papers like a goat on heat. We saw how he turned parliament into a mockery. We saw how this guy descended the Ghana parliament into the lowest doldrums. We saw how this guy called Carlos Ahenkura disrespected the people of Ghana and the people they represent in parliament by playing a childish kindergarten game right in the midst of serious house business. My brother, my sister, he went into the Guinness Book of Disgrace. The very first day, my brother, my sister, he decided to pick up ballot paper and push that into his mouth and started chewing it like a goat on heat. What happened to that issue? Absolutely nothing. All he did was to come and apologize and say, I'm sorry for that. My brother, my sister, this is a guy who was a penchant for misbehavior. I'm going to give you two more instances. You remember during the elections, this was the guy who tested positive for coronavirus and was still outside intermingling with electorates without a face mask. At the time that the coronavirus was all a huge mystery and everybody was running helter-skelter to save their head from a big stone that was supposed to be coming from the skies. My brother, my sister, the president was overly embarrassed and he had to kick him out of the ministry where he served as a deputy minister. We all remember in parliament when MP for North Tongue Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, was granting an honorable interview to journalists. He crashed the interview, went into it and started throwing raw, uncouth insults at the NP, who was totally quiet and watching in dismay and bewilderment how a man like this, who is supposed to be called an honorable, could descend so low into the stinking gutters. My brother, nothing happened to him. He's still walking around. Parliament did not sanction him. If they did, I never saw any write-up on that. If this was a country that was very, very serious, a country that will respect the electorate, Parliament would have found a way to discipline this guy. But they didn't. Now what I see is that this Carlos guy is so much in a hurry to have his face out there. I don't know whatever his intentions are, but at the least chance, this guy pokes his dirty foot into almost every business that will have him flashed on the headlines. My brother, my sister, now, after this intro, let's get into the e-levy thing brother is talking about. My brother, even the finance minister is now running around trying to negotiate to bring down the e-levy from 1.75 to the so-called acceptable level. Carlos Ahinkra is in the same circus, better still in the same jungle with Matthew Opoku, his doctor in quotes. My brother, my sister, these are guys, my brother, my sister, I don't know what kind of adrenaline is running inside them. Maybe it's foolhardiness, or maybe it's even Dutch courage. When they open their mouths to speak, there's no wisdom. Tell me how many times Carlos Ahinkra has made sense when he speaks. Tell me how many times Martin Opoku, doctor in quotes, my brother, my sister, speaks with wisdom. My brother, my sister, when I see people who look down on well-meaning Ghanaians, people who look down on the achievements of great heroes, it hurts me, because it is a strong disaster for the upcoming generation. Who would want to be a hero of this country, looking at how Kwame Nkrumah has been vilified, looking at how very well-meaning ancestors have been dashed into the garbage cans and bins? What do we know about Ya Asantoa? What do we know about Ndewura Jakpa? What do we know, my brother, my sister, about our own heritage? We throw everything away because we do not honor our heroes. Right now, slave queens, my brother, my sister, are those who are running this country. You do not need a university degree anymore. The only pedigree that you need is big breast and big buttocks. So hospitals are making money from the dangerous injections they give to these ladies. Right now, a university degree does not give anybody any confidence in this country. What gives you the ultimate confidence is big buttocks and big breasts. And I sympathize with the ladies who are all playing. I'm speaking in parables. In my days, brains were so much respected. In these days, no. It's not about what you have in your head. It's all about what you have in front of you and what you have behind you. There are those who are buying all the beautiful structures in town. The one who went to the university to grab 5 different degrees is still running around with a CV looking for employment. And if they do get it, trust me, the salary is going to be like a comic figure that they can't even mention in public. E-levy. We are saying that we don't want it. You told us that there was so much money in this country, and because of bad leadership, the country is suffering. You begged us to give you the opportunity to teach us good leadership. We bought into your callous agenda. Now you came in, and all you are showing us right now is nothing but arrogance. All you are showing us right now is nothing but foolhardiness. All you are showing us is nothing but dead courage. My brother, my sister. And when we speak, you come to us and speak as if there's only kerosene in your brains. The word Carlos is speaking, the word Matthew Opoku is speaking, is the same way Nana Addo taught them to speak when he spoke to Togbi Apiti. Why did Nana Addo not speak to Otunfuo the other day when Otunfuo said, Kania Fui, Kania Fui, and all my gadgets are destroyed? Minfidia Yina say, rather, for all you know, Nana Addo has sneaked back to replace all the gadgets Otunfuo lost 100-fold. If he lost 1 pressing iron, he bought him 100 pressing irons back. But Togbi Afiti, because he does not belong to the Akan ethnicity, let's speak the truth, brethren. They have no respect for such people. That is why my brother Baumia has become a comedian, my brother, whose jokes are no more funny. And after destroying Baumia, they decided to push in Alan Cash as the gentleman, the economist who speaks the truth. As for the lying economist, send him back to Wale Wale, let him go and rebrand the witchcraft in Gambaga. My brother, my sister, we live in a country that is so polarized. Gans and Ashantis are fighting each other over whose language should dominate. Achin and Ashanti are fighting each other over who actually is the real Otunfuo, true or false. And instead of understanding the polarity of the situation, you speak to a chief the way you spoke to Togbi Afiti. Look what Kwame Nkrumah did for this country. Hey, Africa without Kwame Nkrumah is totally limbless. Everybody who talks Pan-Africanism is talking Nkrumah. There is no serious Pan-Africanist, my brother, my sister, who would start or end a conversation in Pan-Africanism without the name or Sajifo Kwame Nkrumah. Because he was a patriot. He was a man who had a vision that all their ancestors and grandfathers combined could not compete with. So it hurts them. My brother, what Carlos Ahinkra has said is only an extension of the arrogance of the head. That's the president. If he can arrogantly tell Togbi Afiti, yet you dare not tell Otunfuo this. What kind of seeds are you trying to sow? He has never apologized. Carlos Ahinkra says, hey, listen, E-levy 1.75 is not by force. So if you don't want to pay, do not do Momo. But have they forgotten too soon that it's not all about the Momo? Were they not the same people who said even bank transactions? Listen, listen, these are lawmakers. The same people said bank transactions, digital bank transactions would also be slapped with the so-called e-levy. So why talk about Momo alone? Why talk about Momo alone? And is it all the networks that do Momo? I am sure Momo is only for MTN. What happens to Vodafone? What happens to Airtel? What happens to the other people? So what are you talking about? It's almost like saying, hey, if you don't want to pay school fees, then go and stay at home and be an illiterate. I'm going to break it down. You will understand it. Listen to the wisdom according to Carlos Ahinkra. If you do not want to pay school fees, please sit at home and be an illiterate. Right? Good. If you tell me that if I don't want to pay e-levy, I shouldn't do Momo, forgetting that there are other things that form part of the e-levy, is the same thing telling me that if I don't want to pay school fees, I should sit at home and be an illiterate. At the end of the day, my brother, my sister, what kind of human resources are you building? What does your government stand for? If you gave us free SHS, why did you make it free? Because you thought it was so important and people couldn't afford, and for that matter you would give it to them free because it's important. You did not tell them to go and sit home because they can't pay fees. So if sending money around is also very important, why do you say, hey, if you don't want to pay for it, don't use it? That's one point. Number two, my brother, my sister, what happened to their paperless system? What happened to the digitalization? Oh, Baomia, you see where they brought you to? All these guys, when they speak, Baomia becomes a ghost, non-existent. This guy went around telling everybody about digitalization, moving from school to school, talking about digitalization, how our addresses should be digitalized, blah, 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 all over the place, like the one who invented the digital system. Today, your own ilk are here to tell us that digitalization, according to Baumia, is useless. Let's all go back to the paper system because we do not want to pay e-levy. My brother, my sister, it's common sense. When people start producing, when the economy becomes very productive, they should be able to pay tax. But when you tax some of the basic things that would let an economy grow, you are killing the economy. It's almost like trying to build up a poultry farm and raise chicken, but anytime the fowls lay eggs, you eat the eggs. How are you going to have fowls coming out of the eggs? How? My brother, my sister, I did not intend to go so long with this, but Carlos Ahinkra, if I were these people, we will put a plaster on his mouth because it doesn't make sense. All these times, how many times has this guy apologized? 3 solid times in just a few months. Apologizing for taking coronavirus to unsuspecting electorate. Your greed for power. What the president did was to take the ministerial position from him. He apologized with a long letter. Then he attacked Ablakwa in an interview, also apologized. And then he snatched ballot paper and chewed that like a goat on heat. Apologized. A man who keeps apologizing has no credibility. And Tema people who are Tema West, this is your MP. This is your MP. Are you happy? Are you proud of this guy? Or does he give you to, like other politicians do, freebies So you guys become like sheep, follow him. Is that it? I would be ashamed to have this guy as my MP. If I lived in Tema West, I would move out and go and live in Pesingpe, where there's a brainy MP. This guy can't represent me. I leave it there. My brother, my sister, the next thing I want to look at is right here on Jesus have mercy. Things are happening in this country, eh? Things are truly happening in this country. And I need us to open our ears and listen with rapt attention. This one says, and I'm reading it from City Newsroom, and this one was published on the 8th of December, yesterday. He says, a BLAKK raises concern over 240 million Ghana cedi allocation for e-levy revenue assurance. Listen, a BLAKK raises concern over 240 million Ghana cedi allocation for e-levy revenue assurance. If you don't understand it, don't worry. You get it. Let me read a few lines. The minority in parliament has raised red flags over the allocation of over 240 million Ghana cedis in the 2022 budget for the collection of the 1.75% levy on electronic transactions. I take it again. The minority in parliament has raised red flags over the allocation of over 240 million Ghana cedis in the 2022 budget for the collection of the 1.75% levy on electronic transactions. According to MP for North Tongue, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, the allocation is needless and does not pass any test of accountability. The matter of the imposition of the e-levy in the 2022 budget remains the most contentious in the House. Speaking to City News, Ablakwa indicated that the minority will not support the imposition of the e-levy nor the allocation of the 240 million for revenue assurance and collection of the levy. We take the view that over the last 4 years, the Ghanaian taxpayer has been burdened with billions of cedis in the name of revenue assurance contracts and arrangements. And so you can speak to the blah, 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 blah. I leave it here. My brother, this is nothing. All that it means is that those that are going round, those that are going to be able to collect the revenue, wherever machinery is going to be used to collect the revenue, they will cut 240 million Ghana cedis for that. And this is the first paragraph. The minority in parliament has raised red flags over the allocation of over 240 million in the 2022 budget for the collection. So the tax collector, the e-levy collector, is going to get 240 million Ghana cedis. Your guess is as good as mine. We all know that when they go out there and borrow heavily, the money passes through data bank, right? That's what we were told, right? It passes through there. And therefore, the cousin of the president, who is also the finance minister, my brother, my sister, benefits from that. That's the owner. So, who is going to be contracted to collect the e-levy? Do not be shocked that it is the same data bank. It is the same finance minister and his people. It is the same family and friends. When they needed proper lawyers to go to court and fight the election results as against the NDC in court in the last elections, they knew where to find the proper lawyers. But when they were going for the Ejapa, so-called Ejapa deal, Ejapa royalties deal, they gave it to lawyer Obunu. They are cousin. And he made over $1 million American dollars for doing nothing. Gabi, his law firm was the one that went to advise the president and the government of Ghana on the Ejapa royalties deal. But when they were going to court to fight the NDC over results, Gabi's shadow did not even appear there. I wonder if he even contributed a full stop or a comma in whatever the lawyers used in that court against the NDC. But when it comes to chop, nyafu, 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 they know who to go to. My brother, my sister, the one going to collect the tax collection system will get 240 million Ghana cedis. My brother, my sister. Yet the interesting thing is that Ejapa was kicked out. They forced it in again in this budget, like a Trojan horse. My brother, my sister, E-levy, my brother, my sister, is still a canker. It's still not been agreed to. And there's already an amount that has been earmarked for the collection. Courtesy defense wall can go to hell. Hospitals can go to hell. I leave it here. To God be the glory. My brother, my sister, so many things are happening in this country and we need to speak out. There's a next thing here I need to look at, and this was published today, the 9th of December, published on Peace FM online. It says, I'd rather go to the bottomless pit of hell than see Mahama and NDC in power. And this is coming from a guy called Kwame Duncan. He says, I'd rather go to the bottomless pit of hell than see Mahama and NDC in power. Kwame Duncan. Let's read just two lines. Former Central Regional Minister Kwame Duncan has advised Ghanaians not to fall for former President John Dramani Mahama and his National Democratic Congress, telling them not to make an attempt to bring them back into power. Kwame Duncan called on Ghanaians to wait on President Nana Akufo-Addo and Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia as he works to enhance the progress of the country. He expressed confidence in the president to transform Ghana's economy. I have confidence rather in despair in the capable hands of Akufo-Addo and Bawumia to take us back, to bring us back on track, and we will get there. This is just first year of the 4-year term. We will get there. Let us continue to have faith in Akufo-Addo and Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia that this economy will be brought back on track. He said on Peace FM's Kukuroko program. You see, don't give Mahama the chance. In fact, to give Mahama the chance, I would prefer going to live in the bottomless pit of hell. Now the big question is, where are we right now? We are already in the bottomless pit of hell. In fact, that is where we are. And you are aspiring to come and join us when Mahama comes. Do you see the sense in it? These are the guys in the air condition. These are the guys in heaven right now. Nana Akufo-Addo's heaven. His private jet flying heaven. Oversized suit heaven. Lasagna heaven. Bolognese heaven. Exotic drink heaven. That is where they are. And all he said is that if Mahama comes into power, he would live in the bottomless pit of hell, where we find ourselves right now. Yetisika suna yebre. Free say leaders papa bia nikroma enuntina yenyina yebre. You came into power. People are crying left, right, and center. Everybody is wailing. The only people who are enjoying Kwame Duncan and the rest who are in heaven, we are already in the bottomless pit of hell. So we don't care where you want to go when Mahama comes. We have had our turn in hell and we are still there. At least when you come there to have your turn, we would also come out and bask in the bright sun and enjoy some sea breeze. That's if China does not pollute the sea. Because the fight against Galamsey has become a hoax. The fight against corruption has become nothing but a mirage. So Kwame Duncan, whether you go and live in hell or you join Anado in his private jet on your way to wherever, who cares? Who cares? Mahama came and messed up this country. He did whatever he did. Messed up the country. We were fed up. Everybody was crying. I was one of the most vocal on radio. And you see, some of these things are not difficult to find. Simple Google search or simple Yahoo search. Go back to 2015, 2012 and beyond. What did BLAKK Rasta talk about? You don't need to go into BAM library. Simple Google or Yahoo search. And it slaps you in the face. You see everything. We got fed up with Mahama. Kicked him out like the dead goat that he said he was. And brought in a live goat. And the live goat proved to rather be the dead goat, sleeping every second. Has no respect for the taxpayer. All he has respect for is a selfish luxury. Selfish luxury of his family members. When they need proper lawyers to fight a proper case, they know where to find them. But when there is money to share amongst lawyers, they will share that to their cousins who don't know the way to court. Their cousins who don't even remember whether they have a certificate in law or not. After all, the president himself says he can't find his certificate. My brother, my sister, all we want is a better Ghana. Anybody coming to kick away Nana Addo is a welcome figure. And when they come and misbehave like Nana Addo is misbehaving, we will still talk. I leave it here. So Kwame Duncan, is that the name? Am I right? Yeah, Kwame Duncan. Please, please start preparing bag and baggage for the deepest abyss in hell. I pray that when you get to hell, Satan will sodomize you. Sodomize the hell out of you. And when you want to run back, he would make sure that he sodomizes you all the days of your stay in hell, because you've put millions of people in hell already. Somebody won't understand until he drinks cocoa tomorrow morning. To God be the glory. I leave it here, my brother, my sister. There is an interesting thing here I want to share with you, also on Peace FM online. I think it's quite interesting, and I need us to open our ears and listen with rapt attention. Interesting times ahead. How many of you God is good. God is good. God is good. God is truly good. How many of you have heard about A+? A+ is an interesting character. A+ has done music. He's still a musician. He came out with a group known as the TPP. And his aim was to come out and fight so that we have proper governance and so on and so forth, after he was disappointed in the Nana Addo governance. A+ was one of the few guys President Nana Addo mentioned in his acceptance speech when he first won the elections. A+ was a die-hard supporter of Nana Addo and not the NPP. He said it several times. A+ got disappointed He walked out of the party, tried to form his own movement. For some time now, the movement has been very quiet, or better still, dormant. He has come out to accuse a certain Lebanese man by name Hassan Zain of criminality. According to A+, Hassan Zain threatened to kill some police people in this country. He claims that there's a journalist who has the video, and that's Israel Lie of multimedia. My brother, my sister, the Lebanese man decided to go to court to bar A+ from making more such pronouncements against him. What point is Black Rasta making? A+ has come back to say, hey, you are truly a criminal. Let's meet in court and sort it out. My brother, in this country, the easiest way to shut down cowards is to talk about law courts. I am glad that A+ is standing his grounds. I am glad that some other people are standing their grounds in the face of threats. We all have to rise above all these courts and all the threats of jail and be able to stand up for what we believe is the truth. I cannot stop admiring what A+ did in terms of let's go to court and deal with it. As to whether what A+ said is true or not is not my subject of discussion right now. But to say, you have sued me for 10 million, let us go. We will deal with it. This is not the first time I am seeing A+ tell somebody, hey, call the bluff of somebody and say, go to court. It happened to a certain lawyer. I've forgotten his name now. And at the end of the day, they smoked the peace pipe. As to what was in the peace pipe, I can't tell. But they smoked it. And the lawyer, I think it's Maurice Ampao, yes, came out later praising A+ that he's such a gentleman. Meanwhile, a few moments back, they were at each other's throats, ready to slit off the esophaguses of each other. Today, lawyer Ampao is a good friend of A+. Hassan Zain is the next man who is going to court. I would like to see how this thing would pan out. I hope they don't end up smoking another peace pipe and the matter goes down. A+, if you believe that Hassan Zain is actually a criminal, let's look at it. Look, we have seen a lot of these guys do so many terrible things in this country, and I'm fed up with them. It's not a racist remark. That's why I did not mention any country. We have seen how foreigners come into this country and make us feel like fools, especially Chinese and Lebanese. I have been to Lebanon. I know what Lebanon looks like. I know what Palestine looks like. I know what Israel looks like in Lebanon. Not a minute passes without bombs and bullets flying like butterflies in the jungle. We all don't like it. We want to see a better world. You think Lebanon is burning, so it's Lebanese people alone? No! There are Ghanaians there. There are Africans there. And when the war spirals, it extends into other territories. Before you realize you are engulfed in it, that's how world wars start. So we are not happy about what is happening in Lebanon. But if you run away from war, and then you get a safe haven in quotes, and all you can do is to vent your war frustrations on the citizens of this country, no sir, because of your color. Because in this country, we don't invest in human resources. We don't invest in the brains. We invest in roads and trees. They do not invest in the brains of the people. You go to America, a 6-year-old will tell you things and you think that they are walking computers. You come to Ghana, 16-year-olds are still watching cartoons. They are looking, watching, pew, 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 all over the place. Hey, Terry, hey, Jerry and the mouse. Hey, Tom and Jerry, they are running, hey, pew, 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 all over the place. A 6-year-old in America is talking about national issues, talking about science, talking about so many different things that will send you into the world of bewilderment, like Alice in the Wonder World. Jesus have mercy. My brother, my sister, we do not invest in the brains of our people. All we want to see, good roads. All we want to see, buildings. All we want to see, my brother, my sister, that we are wearing good clothes. What does it matter when the Bible even tells you, clean up your garments, yet it is good, but it's better to clean up your heart? My brother, my sister, what is a nice dress when you have a rotten mind? What is a good road when your head is full of petrol? What is a good story building when you have no brains? That is why in this country, somebody goes to learn 4 paragraphs of a certain book, and he's a hero. He's heralded all over the place like a brainy Archimedes, yet he's nothing before a 7-year-old in Japan or even in Cuba. In this country, half-baked idiots are legends. No wonder in this country, when you make one hit in music, they already start calling you a legend. Once they start calling you a legend, my brother, that is the end of you. In this country, we are so stereotyped because a lot of us have no brains. They do not invest in our brains. They invest in roads. They invest in buildings. They do not invest in any other thing. So when Lebanese people come here, they slap us and go free. They go to toilet in a chamber pot, Kuraba, and ask us to carry that and go and pour up somewhere, or serve us food in chamber pot and ask us to eat from that. Where their dogs sleep is better than where their servants sleep. I'm not happy to see that. Mawako, recently what happened? Did we not see a Lebanese man pour pepperoni and a lot of other things into the face of a girl and beat her up? What happened to that case? For all you know, she sneaked behind and went and took some 120 Ghana cedis, put in her pocket, and then she's in church praying. She's in church. Oh, she will go and give the pastor 20 Ghana cedis as tithes, and then, hey, hallelujah. Ba, 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 ba. In this country, all they teach us is that we should put our brains at home and look up to God to do everything for us. Engineers have thrown away their engineering. They are in church preaching the Bible. Doctors have thrown away their doctorate degrees. They have thrown away their medicine, their stethoscopes, and so on and so forth. And they are in politics talking jazz. How would the country grow? Why won't Chinese come here and become kings? After all, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is the king. I've been to America. I've been to England. God has blessed me. I've traveled around the world. What Indians cannot do in England, they do that in this country several fold. What Chinese cannot do in America, they come to Africa and they do it 1 trillion fold. Even our own Ghanaians, what they cannot do in Japan, what they cannot do in America, they come here and they help foreigners enslave us even the more. My brother, my sister, I know a Jamaican man who got married to a Ghanaian girl. My brother, my sister, he has another wife somewhere in America. That is not my business. You can have 6 billion wives. It's your business. What he cannot do to his wife in America, what he cannot do to his other wife in England, he does 3 trillion times that to his Ghanaian girl. 1, he feeds the Ghanaian girl. If he doesn't feed her, she will sit hungry for the next decade till Jesus Christ comes, blowing tongues, ba 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 ba, for Jesus Christ to come and feed her. His American wife would not wait for him to give money. In our culture, men take care of women. And the more some men, especially those from the West, give women things, they feel like they own them. When it comes to sex, this lady tells me it's like a guerrilla warfare. He's slapping her and using such terrible words that blood clot, bomber clot, pop, and he's firing. Back shot, blood clot, bomber wall, pow, 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 pow. Young girl is crying. She finishes up with blood coming out of her nose, but he feels good. After all, he has had a very beautiful one. Let him go to America to his American wife. Oh, honey, how is it going to be tonight? Boy, I mean, was everything I go all right tonight? Let me buy you a little rose, you know. Yo, and yo, you know, say them there. What they me buy you a house and land tonight? We want a candlelight dinner, you know. And then when they are lying down in the bedroom, oh boy, Rosie, you really, really make me feel good, man. Everything nice and everything nice like that. He will put ice on her and lick everything up. Pour milk on her back and lick up everything. And even lick some other things that I can't say on radio. Yet when he comes to Ghana, why? Because you don't grow their brains. The ladies are growing. And all they know is, oh, I have a vagina. And once I have it, that is a whole investment. After all, slave queens tell you that that is the biggest investment, bigger than the certificate. So they buy houses with that investment. You with your certificate, hey, even a cockroach you can buy. Grow the brains of the people. When you empower the minds of the people, you free them from slavery, and nobody can chain them again. But our daft leaders will never empower you, because the more they empower you, the more you will rise against them. My brother, my sister, it hurts me when I see all these people come around, slap who, make you apologize to their dogs, pay you as if. My brother, the other day, some people came up here, an Israeli company whose name I don't want to mention, in fact, was working with some Ghanaians. They were not being paid well, and then there was a guy who was supposed to climb a certain pylon, wherever. He climbed it and he got electrocuted, and then the people just bought a coffin, and that was it, nothing more. They came to report to me, and I went to this Israeli company. You know the first thing the man said? He looked at me and said, oh, you are very handsome. I said, give thanks. Do you like ladies? I said, hey, of course I like ladies. I don't deal with men. Okay, so do you go out for parties? I said, sir, please, why I am here is because those who brought the issue, this is about 10 years ago. You remember. Talk, a whole lot of talk. And when he realized I was sticking to my guns and wanted him to stop talking about girls and about how much money in dollars they had and blah, 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 blah. When he realized I wasn't backing down, he said, well, it is the law in Ghana that we can pay minimum wage as this. So we are paying the minimum wage. And in that company, nobody was permitted to join the labor unions. One of these days I'll blow it up. This 10 years ago. And when I was going, they packaged dollars in a certain brown envelope and gave to me. Kofi broke man. I was so broke. So broke and suffering. I had grown so lean 10 years back, brethren. I looked at the money and looked at these boys. Something inside me said, tell them that you will come again for the party that they would organize, and then you can take this. I said, I'll take. Oh, no, this is for your transfer. No, don't worry, I will be back. My brother, that was what saved me. They had CC cameras. Those days, there were not many CCTV cameras in Ghana. If I had taken this money, today, I will not have the energy to come on radio and be telling you this nonsense. How many of our people sell out? People trust you to be able to lead them to a promised land. And then you come and behave like Nanado, like Carlos Ahinkra, like Matthew Opoku, and all those guys. You begged us to give you power to serve us. We'll give you water, we'll give you education, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. And we gave it to you. Now you are our gods. We can't talk to you. We are supposed to call you honorable. And you can talk to us anyhow. What the heck? Why should I fear a guy like this? Until we empower our brains. That's why Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Lebanese will keep slapping us. A+. I didn't intend to prolong this. Follow this up. We will support you. Let's see who is culpable and who is not. To God be the glory. I'll leave it here. Now, I have about 5 more minutes to go, and I'm going to do this quickly. Oh, interesting things are happening. My brother, you remember I talked about this brother here called Stephen Amor, right? The guy who was crying on TV, crying on camera, crying on tape that we are not being appreciative of Nanado. Crying ma on camera. Stephen Amor, he's supposed to be the boss of Maslog. My brother, remember what I said? I said I don't know this guy too much, but this is not the first time we have seen people crying pretentiously, and when they finish and they are in power, the crying stops. All other people can suffer, they don't care. We saw Mustafa Hamid. Wallahi, this country, we have to rescue this country. Wallahi, we have to salvage this country. Wallahi, honorable, don't cry. Hey, hey, hey. Today, they are basket. You can't even see them. They have become ghosts. We can't see them. If you go to their houses, dogs are barking at you. If you are not careful, they will shoot you. That you have come to jump over their walls, right? Stephen Amor. The court says should be arrested. A court has issued an arrest warrant for the MP called Stephen Amor, and is also doubling as the head of Maslog. Am I right? My brother, my sister, he's supposed to go there. I'm going to read just a few lines from this, and we'll see what it is. It's published today, the 9th. It says, the magistrate court has issued an arrest warrant for the member of parliament for Nshiasu, Dr. Stephen Amor, over his failure to appear before the court for flouting road traffic regulations. Listen. Listen, a legislator. You made the laws. Allow us to break the law so that you can knock our heads. You have broken the law. Appear in court. I'm an honorable. Honorable, you have to pass through where and enter through what holes before you can take us to court. And you stand on that and misbehave. Then you come and cry on TV. These guys are comedians. I don't like them at all. I leave it here. Things are happening in this country, brethren. Now there's this guy who also doesn't make sense anytime he talks. His name is Boabeng Asamoah. I hope I got the name right. He says, E-Levy is our savior. Yao Boabeng tells Ghanaians. And this was also published today, Peace FM Online. National Communications Director. Imagine, this is the National Communications Director of the governing New Patriotic Party. Yao Boabeng Asamoah is urging Ghanaians to support the government E-Levy. What else? So they can fly more and sleep more. My brother, let's get serious in this country. Elembele Mugabe. said politics is so sweet that he would sell his own mother to do politics. Elembele Mugabe said he was buying 275 buses for his NPP party. It's my money, and I'm buying it for my party. What is the problem? Oh, there's no problem, sir. Daily Guide owner. That's him. Elembele Mugabe. Such daft people. Meanwhile, when you follow this man's background, his fathers and some other people were really powerful patriotic people. And you wonder how these people strayed. How did they stray? Elembele Mugabe said 275 buses he had bought for his party. When the day of the walk came, how many buses did the government release to carry people? Ayalolo buses, 110. What happened to the 275 buses for one party alone? And for the whole country, 110 Ayalolo buses. Are you serious? One man bought 275 buses for his party. When we started walking because we were demonstrating, they brought 110 Ayalolo buses to carry us. Thanks to the IGP. He said, police, this is part of your service. Go out with the police buses. We will fuel it from our budget. Go and carry the people to their destination. As for this IGP, if he doesn't go to heaven, I will take God to court. Trust me. My brother, my sister, I appreciate you. I had more to discuss, but as usual, I've run out of time, and I want to say thank you so much for coming. May the soul of Kwame Nkrumah rest in peace, and may all the wonderful things that he did for this country be acknowledged time after time. No matter who tries to shroud all his legacies, we shall rise above this mediocrity. My name is BLAKK RASTA, and it's been the Black Pot.